We've just heard from President Donald Trump since he was banned on Twitter for 12 hours. What's your reaction to his address?
Well, my reaction to his address is positive. Of course, that's what he should have said straight after the election, which he clearly lost. And these games that have been played over the election being stolen and there being cheating and so on have gone on for far too long and have been very undignified. I think they have inflamed the passions of some of his more extreme supporters, and we saw the consequence of that yesterday, unfortunately. But I think, I guess in America they don't care much what we think in Australia, but I think our view would have to be that tempers on all sides should now calm down and let the transition take place on the 20th of January. But the speech is late, but at least his comments, President Trump's comments, are appropriate.
Yeah, he is calling for calm to be restored. Do you think it's just too little too late?
It's probably not. Well, it's too late, of course, because the attack on the Congress building yesterday has happened and damage done, and it was disgraceful behaviour. A life was lost, and no, 4 lives, I think, were lost. So, by definition, it's too late. But it will, I think his comments will calm emotions and will allow there to be a smooth move over the next 12 or so days to the new presidency, and that's what the United States has to do. There are people in the Democratic Party who say that, the 25th Amendment should be used and the president made to stand down. But I think that kind of emotion probably needs to tone down as well, and the country just needs to move on.
Why shouldn't the president be removed from office now?
Well, it's only 12 days to go. I think if they were to introduce impeachment procedures, they would not be completed or barely be completed within those 12 days. I think going down that path, my guess is going down that path would only raise passions again. And the task now is to try to dampen those passions down. President Trump has raised passions to an appalling level, and his behaviour since the election has been unconscionable, really. But nevertheless, he has moved today to calm those emotions. And I think it's important the Democrats keep calm as well, and the country move towards the transition. It's only 12 days to go, and I think President Trump, if anything, must have learnt his lesson. Somebody must have had a word with him who he actually listened to and told him to come out and make the remarks he's made. I found watching his remarks there a bit of a relief, really.
How does this affect Australia's relationship with the US, and what should Australia be doing now?
Well, I don't think it does. I mean, to be honest, the main players in American politics, Joe Biden, Donald Trump, the leaders of Congress and so on, aren't going to be too interested in what foreign countries, including foreign governments, have to say at this time of high emotion and transition of huge power from one administration to another. We have our own experience in Australia of our parliament having been stormed and windows broken and doors broken down, and that was back in 1996. We got over it and we survived, and the United States will move on. So I think in terms of Australia's relations with the United States, we just look to build a good relationship with the Biden administration. I don't think that will be difficult. Many of the cabinet members and senior officials in the White House are well known to Australian diplomats and some Australian politicians. I know some of them myself. So I think they will be relatively easy to work with. I don't think there'll be major problems. But best to keep, for the government, the Prime Minister, the Foreign Minister and others, to keep out of a running commentary on events in Washington, other than perhaps to express how appalled we were at the attack on the Congress. And we remember it happening to our own parliament in 1996.
We're just out of time. Alexander Downer, thank you so much for joining me today.
It's a great pleasure.